Always remember that readers like to read action. Now, it doesn't mean everything in your memoir has to be gunshots and chases and car races and things like that. But if you do have some interesting moments in your past where actions happened, those can add a little bit of tension. They can add some high points to your memoir. And here's a good example about from a student of mine who went to Windsor, Ontario, one night with a bunch of buddies. They're probably 21, 22 years old. They check out the clubs, the bars, and there's a lot of shady characters. And they seem really out of place. The classic metaphor or cliche, fish out of water. And he writes this scene where, and you can pause this and then I'll talk about it, but where some cops arrive. So pause this video, read this scene, and then I'll offer my comments on it. So we have them arguing like 2-year-olds, a bunch of young guys arguing about something. And then suddenly the doors of a club or a bar burst open, shocking them. And the author describes these muscular men in uniform taking out, a guy with an ugly toque, a jet black T-shirt, deep baggy blue jeans. So we get all those details about what he looks like. Those details are key. They're not just extraneous details. They're actually key details because earlier in the story, that same person with the ugly toque talked to them, and they kind of tried to make him go away. You just seem like a shady character. So here the reader is reminded that is someone from earlier in the story who, didn't seem like a good character, right? And so later he returns as being taken out of a club by a bunch of cops. And we get all the details. The cop shoves him, goes into the car, checks the handcuffs, and we learn about this white van that shows up. Now, when it says white van with tinted windows, rusty exhaust, and blue labels, so we're getting some detail. We can see the van, but it's the detail is placed. The adjectives are placed in a sentence where the van does something. It appears on the scene, right? And that keeps the story moving along, but it peppers a little bit of detail about what this thing looks like in a moment of action. And then some blank faces and armed men pop out. And then they actually mention something to him and his friends about this is a mobile jail kind of thing. And then we get more detail, more action. They yank him out of the car like a lowly dog and shove him in the van. The van speeds off. There's not a lot of contemplation here. There's nothing abstract. It's just really detailed action, things happening. Now, of course, a memoir, 200-page memoir cannot have scene after scene of just constant action. There has to be some slowing moments where there's discussion and dialogue and contemplation and that kind of thing. But once in a while, it's nice to throw in a scene like this, if it's appropriate, if it fits whatever your theme is, just to shake things up a little and get that action after action after action happening. So we really feel like we're there with these characters.